truly never really know what we are going to find out here because these are all very real animals. And they do like to wander and roam where they want to, when they want to. But above your heads, there is an animal spotting guide, and that is going to have the pictures and the names of all the animals we have a chance of seeing out here today. So keep an eye out for your favorites, and I will do my absolute best to point out every animal we come across out here. But it looks like as we come around the corner here, we already have a couple animals hanging out on that right-hand side. So way on the right-hand corner there, you might see that cow with the really big horns. There's another one over here by the log. Those are Ankoli cattle, and those horns might look heavy, but they're actually almost hollow inside. There's a paper-thin kind of honeycomb structure on the inside. Helps keep the cow cool. Also keeps those horns nice and light. Now, there's also a few Maasai giraffe grazing. We are going to get much closer to a couple of them, so I'm going to wait to talk about them. But we can tell that those are Maasai giraffe because of the dark brown splotches on them. They're a little bit rough around the edges. There's also some Hartman's Mountain zebras grazing over there as well. We can tell them apart from other zebras because of the stripes on their back legs. They're a little bit wider and thicker than the rest of their stripes. They also have white bellies, which is super cute. On the left-hand side, taking a little snooze in that cave in the corner, you can see some tufts of fur back there. Those are African painted dogs. Now, they might look a little similar to hyenas, but they're actually not related, like at all. They are more closely related to dogs or wolves. The big difference is that these guys over here only have 4 toes. Isn't that Duke? And their coat is unique to each dog as well, so the different patterns and colors will never look the same on any two. Now it looks like we have a giraffe trying to grab a snack over here on the left-hand side, as well as a sable antelope grabbing a drink back there as well. Now, sable antelope are actually the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, because just like we never back down from our fight for conservation, they also never back down from the fight. They'll kneel down on their front legs and show off those big, beautiful horns for defense and protection. And those horns can actually grow to be about 5 feet long. Let's get a little bit closer to these giraffes over here. Now, giraffes are the tallest animals in the world. They can stand about 16 to 20 feet tall when they're fully grown. And they're known for having those long, long necks, but they actually have the same number of neck bones that we do. Theirs are just a whole lot bigger. It looks like they're hanging out with these Hartman's Mountain zebras over here. Now, the pattern of a zebra's stripes will be as unique to that zebra as our fingerprints are to us. So no two zebras will ever look exactly the same.
Ooh, look at the giraffe, Wendy.
The
Right
group
there.
of zebras is
Coming
called
at us.
a dazzle. Now, up ahead here, walking by at the bottom of the hill there on the right-hand side, you might see that smaller antelope. Almost looks like a little savannah s'more with the coloring on it. That is a springbok. Now, springbok get their name from their ability to spring almost 6 feet straight up in the air, despite only standing about 3 feet tall at the shoulder. And they are super agile, which is why they're also the mascot for quite a few South African sports teams. There are some wildebeest laying down on the hill up there as well. They'll get their name from the Afrikaans word for wild beast. But they're honestly more like the puppy dogs in savannah. We can often find them digging in the dirt, rolling in the dirt, kind of acting silly. But grabbing a little snack out of the tree stump here on the right-hand side, that is a baby Maasai giraffe. Now, the very first thing that baby giraffes experience in life is gravity. Yep, they have about a 6-foot free fall when they're born, and they quite literally hit the ground running. They'll be up and walking within an hour of being born. Wow. Now, that little guy back there, he's about 6.5, 7 months old now. He was born back in February. So he's probably looking about 8, 9 feet tall right now. Looks like that might be it for this corner of the savannah. So we are going to continue on. As we head through these rocks over here, we are going to head into some elephant territory. So we'll keep an eye out. These guys are usually a little bit easier to spot. Yet there are a few more spots up ahead that we might get a glimpse of. more spots up ahead. But these are going to be African elephants that we'll be on the lookout for. And we'll be able to tell because of their big, big ears. They're kind of coincidentally shaped like Africa. And they actually use those big, big ears to cool themselves down. There's a whole bunch of blood vessels that line the backs of their ears. So when they flap them, they're actually cooling off those blood vessels and they're helping that blood circulate to the rest of their body. It's like their own built-in ear conditioning. Marks, maybe even some footprints. And that'll be because this is red clay and the elephants will actually snack on it from time to time. It's almost like a multivitamin for them. The minerals in the clay help to fill in some nutritional gaps that they have in their diet. Elephants like to eat a lot of grass and a lot of fruit. That actually makes them pretty good pollinators. Now I know when I say pollinator, you're probably not thinking about elephants. There is one hiding kind of behind the rocks there. We'll see if we can't get a little bit of a better view as we get up on top of the hill here. But elephants do fall into the same category as birds, bees, bugs, in that pollinator category. They eat a lot of fruit. They are just not super great at digesting all of the seeds in that fruit. So they'll eat a whole bunch of fruit, not really digest the seeds inside too well, and then wherever they go to the bathroom, they'll be planting those seeds for just a little bit of extra fertilizer. Hi friends, just make sure we stay fully seated for me, please. Thank you so much. We'll see if we can't find any more around the corner here. Pulling up on their watering hole, so hopefully we'll get a little glimpse at some. Oh yeah, it looks like we have a herd of elephants over here by that big baobab tree.
I have to.
Now this is what we call a matriarchal herd, meaning that it's the females when they're young. They're typically led by the oldest and wisest female elephant called the matriarch of the herd. Let's see if we can't get a little bit closer here.
See the wing, the ear flapping right there, right next to the baobab tree.
Now elephants do have those big long trunks on the front of their face. And those are made up of thousands of muscles that connect their nose and their upper lid. Now those muscles can be used for a variety of reasons. They can use them to grab a little snack. They can suck up water into their chunks and pour it into their mouths to get a drink. They can also throw dirt and dust on themselves. It's actually a way they kind of make their own sunblock. But on our left-hand side, these are going to be greater flamingos. Now they are the largest and the palest pink of the flamingo species, but they don't get that pink color until they're about 2 years old. When they hatch, they are more of a gray color, and then as they start to eat their diet a little more regularly, that's when we'll see them start to turn pink.
Eles estão pescando.
Now they eat a lot of brine shrimp and other small invertebrates that are really high in beta carotene. That beta carotene is going to do it gives their feathers that beautiful pink color we all know and love. And as we come around the corner here on our left-hand side, these are going to be white rhinos. Now, white rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word "weit," which means wide. And that's going to be referring to the shape of their mouths. They have really nice, wide, flat mouths that are good for grazing on grasses, but over time people misheard "weit" as white. That's why we call them white rhinos, even though these guys are clearly not white in color. Now, you might also notice they're a little bit muddy, they're a little bit dirty. They love a good mud bath. That mud is going to help keep them cool. Also kind of acts like a sunscreen and a bug repellent for them, which definitely comes in handy on a day like today. This one over here by the palm trees just looks so comfy. Now this next one might be a little trickier to spot, no pun intended, but laying underneath this tree up on the hill, that is a cheetah in the front there by the rocks. Now cheetahs are go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just about 3 seconds. And they also have little black teardrop lines under their eyes that act almost like sunglasses for them. Kind of like how football and baseball players will put eye block under their eyes. Cheetahs have those markings under theirs to help absorb light so they can see a little better in the bright sunshine. Looks like we have one more walking around here on the left-hand side and one more laying down in the bushes as well. Now they're also the only large cats that can purr. So just like any house cats you might have at home, cheetahs can purr, meow, chirp, hiss, growl, make all the fun little cat noises. And they're also the only species of feline that do not have retractable claws. So a cheetah's claws will be out and about all day, every day. Now this rock formation on the left-hand side is called a copy. And that's going to be a really good lookout spot for animals out here on the savannah. And one of the animals that loves to use that are going to be the lions. Now a group of lions is called a pride. And a pride of lions typically consists of one dominant male, a few females, and their young. And that male is going to be the one kind of in the back there with his head up. We can tell because he has that fluffy native fur around his neck. Look, that's posing for pictures. So pretty. Now you can see his native fur is kind of light in color. It almost blends in with the rest of his coat. That means that that male lion is still pretty young. That mean will get darker and thicker as he gets older. Now you can see they are kind of just sprawled out here, snoozing, taking a little rest. That is pretty normal. Lions will rest for about 16 to 20 hours a day. Sometimes I get jealous. I wish I could rest that much. But later tonight around sundown, if you think you might be hearing a lion roar, you might be right. Their roar can be heard from up to 5 miles away. And they are more active at night. Now on our left-hand side, these are going to be some warthog burrows. Warthogs will dig those burrows using their snouts, their tusks, their hooves, and then they'll back themselves in so those tusks are on display. It gives them a little extra protection while they rest. They're very social creatures, not territorial, super chill. Hakuna Matata, you know what I mean? Now it looks like we have a white rhino kind of emerging from the trees there on the right-hand side. Their horns are made of keratin. That's going to be the same material as your hair and your fingernails. So just like your hair and your fingernails, their horns can actually grow throughout their life. And on our right-hand side, on the ground, kind of at the corner of the grass there, you might see some really big eggs. Those are ostrich eggs. Now, ostrich eggs are massive. They can weigh about 3 pounds each, which is about the size of 2 dozen chicken eggs. And the shells on them are super strong. A fully grown adult could stand on one of them and the shell would not break. I do not recommend trying that at home with your chicken eggs. You're probably not going to get the same results. As we round the bend here, we're going to be passing by our warden's post on the left and in the front here and actually on the roof and on the roof of the Jeep. I can see a few Nigerian dwarf goats. Now these goats are dairy goats. Their milk is just a little bit sweeter than cow's milk. Oh, there's actually one in the Jeep as well. Now you might also notice kind of round bellies on a few of them. That's pretty normal as well. These goats are what we call ruminants, meaning that they have 4 stomach chambers. So they need a little extra room for all those stomachs. They're also super great for farming and agriculture because they're kind of like little garbage disposals. They tend to eat everything the other livestock refuse to eat. So the kind of weedy undergrowth, blackberries, ivy, they will gobble all of that up. No picky eaters in sight. But here in Harambe, we believe in leaving the world just a little bit better than we found it. And a big way that we like to do that is through conservation, which is something that everybody can help out with in big or small ways. That could be something as big as donating your time by volunteering at a local beach or river cleanup, depending on where you live. But that could also just be something as small as shutting off the water while you brush your teeth, or even recycling your old cell phone when you get a new one. There's a mineral called coltan that's found in a lot of small electronic devices, and it's almost exclusively mined in Africa. So by recycling your old phone, you're actually reducing the need to mine more coltan, and you're helping protect and preserve the natural habitat to start heading back to Harambe Village now. So if I have any wilderness explorers on board, there's a super secret code word that you are going to need to know in order to earn your safari badge today. And that super secret code word is the name of the truck that you were riding on. Now the name of this truck was the Simba 1. It's going to be Simba, just like the lion, and the number 1.